Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. We're in the middle of our weekly top 3. We're listing our favorite heartthrobs, and by heartthrobs I mean dudes. Even though Colt didn't play the game right.
I don't understand why you're emphasizing that again.
Because you laughed, and that's what it's there for. So just to sum up where we've been so far, Colt's number 3 was?
Oh yeah, it was Mark Wahlberg.
Number 2 was?
Keira Knightley.
Idiot. Corey Gilgy. Your number 3 was Joe Namath. My number 3 was Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, kicking it over to my heterosexual life partner. What is your number 2, Corey DLG?
My number 2 is very, very specific. It actually...
Is it like a group of people?
No.
Okay.
It's very specific. It's Nick Cage, specifically in the movie. Specifically,
And you said Keira Knightley was terrible.
Specifically in the
Nick
movie.
Cage is a good one.
In the movie Face Off.
That's a good one.
He spends an entire movie making out and harassing every girl that's in a scene with him.
Yeah.
Every girl.
He's trying to be John Travolta in real life.
Right.
That's so great.
Yeah. Except, I think
Nick Cage is great.
he's something.
I know he's made some dumb decisions financially,
He's something.
but honestly, I don't know if I've ever flipped a Nick Cage movie and not enjoyed it in some way.
Oh, I totally have.
Which one?
The Wind Talkers was terrible. Both Ghost Riders were awful.
I liked both of them.
Next was terrible.
Next was not terrible, but it
bad.
made less sense the longer you watch it.
I like to go.
And if you ever watch it a second time, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
The pretty much everything Wicker Man and Beyond are all bad.
Idris Elba,
He's got one with Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Yeah, that's the one where
They're like knights,
yeah,
and they're like opium addicts, and
Yeah,
Nick
that's
Cage
great.
is crazy.
Isn't that like The Witch Hunter?
that's like my life.
It's called like Outcast or something, and
The
yeah,
one
like
with him and Jared Leto.
Lord of War.
That's
a good one.
So good.
I was so disappointed by that movie.
Really?
You're disappointed. You
It took
disappoint
like
me.
12 years to go watch that movie, and I was so let down. Jared Leto was really good in that
You
movie. Nick
disappoint
Cage
me.
was just playing Nick Cage, and it was like no character development.
He doesn't have to. Just the Nick Cage persona is great.
Right, like, yeah, I don't know.
It is when he steals the Declaration of Independence, not when he's selling guns.
Ban National Treasures 1 and 2 are
Great.
fantastic movies.
I like Nick
They
Cage.
could make if he only made National Treasures
Yeah, that's it.
and like weird indie movies.
Yeah.
I think Nick Cage.
Did you ever see his first directorial debut?
Which one was it?
Sonny. It stars a young James Franco. It's set in Louisiana. And
Oh,
James Franco plays a gigolo.
yeah. I know. I haven't
So
seen
good.
it.
Man, I should have put James Franco on my list. Think
No,
about it.
there's nothing. There's nothing.
He's my honorable mention. James Franco is my honorable
There's
mention.
nothing heartthrobby about
Oh.
James Franco.
There's everything heartthrobbing.
Matter of fact, many people have said he is creepy.
all heartthrob is James Franco. He just
He is not
the
heartthrob.
essence. He is
Right.
the essence of honorable mention heartthrob for Joey Savage.
Maybe he and Seth Rogen together because they'd be fun to hang out, but no, he's not
That's
a heartthrob.
not even what a heartthrob means at all.
Yeah, no,
Right, no.
Just James Franco himself.
Right, and I'm telling you, no, you're wrong.
Well, you can't tell me wrong. It's my list.
I'm
No,
telling you, you're wrong too.
The only
You're wrong.
person you can tell it's wrong is him and his dumb list.
You're wrong.
Maybe if you gave me more than one day to prep, I might have good lists.
I had 30 seconds to prep, and it took me 5. Mic drop on the Savage. Okay, so can I go to my number 2 now?
Yeah, please do.
My number 2 is Brad Pitt.
Okay, that's
Very
legit.
good.
Straight up Brad Pitt. I literally have watched probably 95% of his movies, and some of those early ones are pretty bad.
Yeah,
And I just
yeah.
bought them because it was Brad Pitt.
That's a weird thing about him. So he's developed this real reputation as like an actor, right? Like
An actor!
or an actor, because he doesn't direct. He does some producing, but he
But he's
doesn't.
an actor.
But he's an actor.
Actor.
He chooses his roles
What's in
very
the box?
carefully. But when you actually look at the resume,
Some of them, you're like,
it's pretty.
Whoa.
It's pretty bad. There's a lot of bad movies in the Brad Pitt.
There are. But I
Rolodex.
watched them because he's a heartthrob. My heartthrob.
Yeah,
My numero dos.
you're a
Numero
weirdo.
dos. I don't. I'm crazy.
I'm uncomfortable with the
there's
amount
like
of
a
eye
movie-
contact in this segment. Stop.
There's a movie he did when he's young where he plays like this track star, and it is awful. But I bought it because it was Brad Pitt.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Michael Cena in
No, not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Nope. Mm-mm. It's an old movie.
Okay.
But yeah, man, Fight Club and
Man, Fight
all
Club.
those movies.
Fight Club's that movie that really, really sold me on him as someone who's a fantastic actor because, like, throughout the whole movie, you can't help but just see it's Brad Pitt. But he still plays...
Except it's a fake character. He's not even real.
Yeah.
No. Like, you know, like when you see, like, for example, when you see Nick Cage, you can't help but see Nick Cage before whoever character he's playing.
Okay, all right.
So like it's kind of like the same thing, but he still played a fantastic character.
See, I
like Bradley Pitt.
don't do that with a lot of actors. Like, I don't think of them as the actor, mostly because I'm not the guy who's like, these people are great actors. Like, it's few and far between that I say are great actors.
Right.
Brad
Pitt's one of them.
No, and I don't really think he is. Again,
John Travolta's in one of those too. Like,
No.
can't help but see he's John Travolta.
George Clooney.
I think George Clooney is actually a better
Actor.
producer, and I'm willing to bet this movie with Matt Damon is gonna be really well directed.
Is that the one where they're in the town?
Suburban, and Matt Damon.
Damon's good too.
Matt Damon's
a
great.
great actor.
But I definitely don't think that I think George Clooney picks amazing movies to make happen.
He makes good decisions.
Right. Whereas a lot of these guys don't. A lot of these guys show up in something.
And boom.
To me, the Sean Connery story is the craziest to me.
Yeah.
Where basically
Sean Connery.
where my legend, my hero, James Robinson, basically retires Sean Connery from acting. And
let's not talk about that guy.
The
You gave
League
him
of
too
Extraordinary
much. You gave him
Gentlemen.
too much.
Yeah,
But all the
yeah.
Ocean's 11s with Brad Pitt. Oh. When Brad Pitt and George Clooney team up, it's great stuff.
and
too.
Matt Damon.
Except for Burn After Reading. That movie was
That
horrible.
movie was fantastic. I love that movie.
I hated it. I watched it because it was Brad Pitt, and I hated it.
I understand why you didn't like that.
You know what? I probably hated it is because going into it, Allie's mom was like, "You gotta watch this movie. It's so funny," and I didn't think it was funny at all.
Oh,
I had
there's tons of funny.
No, not even close.
It's a Coen Brothers movie. You
The
either
whole,
love it or you hate
the whole
it.
plot is humor
Not
because
even funny.
it's a
Didn't even
series
like
of
it.
unfortunate
No.
events.
I
It's like a
watched it.
Lemony Snicket.
I watched it again because it's Brad Pitt.
No,
All right,
Not
let's
Lemony
jump off.
Snicket.
You're number one, Colt. I can make fun of you.
That's
My number
fair.
one, fell in love with him when I was 6, 7 years
You
old.
look like it, Hulk Hogan.
Beautiful blonde, elf that never misses. Orlando Bloom.
Man, he's
man.
Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. Orlando Bloom is a good actor. Oh, I'll give you that. You get a pass for this one. Your other two, that one, good job, buddy.
Wow.
Did it there.
All right.
Not my honorable mention, but yeah, he's a good one. Legolas.
Legolas is the Legolas Gimli dynamic was fantastic.
Legolas.
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Loved it.
I also like there were a lot of subtle things that Peter Jackson did in those movies. For example, the elves are light of foot and they do something called elf walking, which is when you see them in the mountains and they're all in the snow and everyone's like trudging through the snow. He's walking on top of the snow next to them because the elves are light on their feet and don't sink.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of cool little tidbits. Orlando Bloom, bit of a ladies' man, so I think that's fair. Call him a heartthrob. I don't see why not.
2 big franchises under his belt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. There was a moment there where it seemed like he was trying to be Johnny Depp light, so I
Right.
didn't think it was a good idea for them to do
There's
Pirates of the
another good one.
Caribbean.
Honorable mention.
Johnny
Depp.
Man, Johnny Depp. Except I don't understand
He's struck out lately.
the money stuff too, and the divorce was not handled
good.
well.
Not well.
Not well at all.
All right, so what's your number one, DLG?
So my number one, we go into the world of animation for the suavest, smoothest man on the entire planet,
Tank Hill.
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. That's a good one. You're so nerd. You
Hello,
went animation
ladies.
for your number one heartthrob.
Because
That's straight up
he
nerd.
thought he was the America's. He thought he was the heartthrob. It's so great.
I thought you were going to go Zach Morris there, but that's a good one.
He's unofficial. Honorable mention was Zach Morris. I
good one.
actually almost did, but my favorite Johnny Bravo moment. He he wakes up and his VCR is blinking 12, so he thinks that he is so handsome. He has broken time.
That's awesome.
And there's this, through a series of funny events, everywhere he walks, everyone is freezing for different reasons. It's like, for example, he walks into a restaurant, and right before he walks in, someone goes, "Oh my gosh, there's bees! Nobody move! I heard they'll leave!" So the entire restaurant freezes because they're scared of bees, and Johnny Bravo walks through and steals a bunch of food and leaves. And as he's walking out, the waiter goes, "Who was that guy?" Like, it just has this great, like, this stupid moment.
So nerd, you went animation. That's awesome. Do you think you can guess my number one?
I'm willing to bet your number one is...
What do you think? I'll give you one guess.
It should be Daniel Day-Lewis, the
3.
way you love him.
Nope. 2. 1. The greatest quarterback of all time.
This is fair. Okay, all right.
Thomas Brady.
I thought you were going to say Thomas Jefferson Brady.
Thomas George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin Brady. No, Tom Brady. My number one heartthrob.
Is he really a heartthrob at this? I mean...
Yeah. I don't care how old he is. It's a heartthrob.
I wasn't gonna say the age. I was just gonna say how publicly he's been locked down with Giselle for so
what?
long.
He's my heartthrob.
Okay, all right.
Like
He's
if there's
your
one
heartthrob.
if there's
okay.
one person I could die and come back as, Tom Brady.
Oh, I don't know.
Tom Brady.
Chris Paul made the argument for James Harden.
Yeah, but he was also with the Kardashians, so I don't know how much that.
Yeah,
works.
that's true.
Thomas Brady. Any honorable mentions, boys?
Yeah, so I almost did Zach Morrison.
That's a good one. Zach Morris.
Zach Morrison, yeah. So Morrison.
That's a good one.
The guy from the Doors.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I found this YouTube channel, and it's Zach Morris is a jerk.
Oh yeah.
And it basically summarizes a bunch of episodes, and it's funny how how just things don't translate sometimes over time.
Right.
It's like when you watch Saved by the Bell through the prism of modern sensibilities.
Yeah.
They're terrible episodes. They're awful.
Yeah.
He was dating a girl in a wheelchair one time, and the episode starts with he joined a suicide prevention hotline, met the girl on the phone line, picked her up, and then started dating her, and it turns out she's wheelchair bound. And then he goes out of his way to constantly mention how proud he is of her for being paralyzed.
What a heartthrob.
And then
what a stud.
they have a charity event. Like, it's all in good.
It's like a basketball charity.
Yeah, they do a basketball charity event where everyone's in the wheelchairs playing the basketball game, and everyone gets up and celebrates, and he goes, and I want to give it a special shout out to a special lady to me, the only one who has to stay in her chair all the time. And then he points at her again, and she like wheels off all angry.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's trying to be like nice, but
Right. There's so many. There's
screwed the pooch on that one.
Picked her up from a suicide prevention
That's
hotline.
baller. That's like Ed Norton style right there.
That's the most It's Always Sunny thing I've heard outside of that show.
You seriously Google Zach Morris is a jerk, and like there's these YouTube episodes like the guy sings his own theme song. Zach Morris is a jerk. It's
awesome.
Hilarious.
Check that out, and we're gonna check out. So, Brent, when we come back, we're gonna get into the young Padawan hipster segment featuring the intern cult. Nerd Thug Radio. Whoop, whoop.